Well, we're live after yet again more technical difficulties. It's like we have that every time. One of these times we're gonna get it set up properly and it's gonna work the first time.
Yeah, it seems like it's little things.
Yeah.
Shouldn't affect it, but it did.
So yeah, man, it's been a long time. It's been like since early August. I think a month and a half.
Summer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why we have this candle right here to keep us warm, because I'm not going to turn my furnace on until October at least.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't turn our furnace on until November, but that's only because we had to get our furnace replaced.
Oh.
So
you should be good to go this time.
I should be good to go this
Change that filter, though.
Yep.
Remember that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Garrett, I've got a little bit of trivia to start. You're not allowed to look at the screen because everyone else is going to be able to see the trivia at the same time.
I'll look directly at the camera.
Okay. So when it comes to credit card debt, we've got some stats from Credit Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You tell me, what generation do you think has the highest average credit card debt? Just throw one out there.
I would say, I guess I don't know my generations that well.
You're like, it's the greatest generation. No.
Yeah, no. How about our parents' age?
Okay.
That would be my guess.
So like baby boomers / Gen X?
Would Gen X be?
Yeah, I think my parents are right on the edge of baby boomers and Gen X.
I'm going to say Gen X.
Okay. It is, in fact, Gen X.
Okay.
So good guess. Now, the generation with the lowest average credit card debt.
So, I suppose that would be us, right? Since we're young.
Yeah.
We haven't had time
to. It's technically Gen Z, and I think you and I are actually millennials.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
it depends on where you look online about.
Me and my wife have this argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gen Z.
Okay.
Now, what do you think is the state with the highest average credit card debt? This one actually kind of surprised me.
My guess would have been New York, but if it surprised you.
Yeah, it's not. It's not New York.
Because, I guess the rest of the state's probably a little bit more level-headed.
Yeah.
The state of Washington.
Nope. It's Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
That is odd.
Yeah. I wonder why. It's probably all those moose carrying their credit cards. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it is no. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. It's very interesting.
Shipping prices.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be part of it. And the state with the lowest average credit card debt. Just throw it
Oklahoma.
Nope. Mississippi.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma is decently low, but yeah, and the average credit card monthly payment is $173. I'll just tell you that instead of making you guess it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that goes nicely into our first article, which is from CNBC, and it is apparently the United States has now hit an all-time high for total credit card debt. Woohoo.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm going to talk about in this week's video. And it's pretty insane. $930 billion.
Yeah, so, that's a large amount.
Yeah, maybe we'll get in the Guinness Book of World Records, you know?
Yeah.
But it throws out some statistics here that the 2008 financial crisis, we were at $870 billion. So that's an extra $60 billion since then. And
that kind of surprises me that it's taken that long to raise it that much, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's because after each, I'll show you this just really quick. The delinquency rates are going up, and unfortunately, the young Americans are the ones that have the highest delinquency rates. So, kids, don't sign up for credit cards.
Yeah. Don't be a delinquent.
Yeah. Don't be a delinquent. Here is. So this graph right here is from Equifax, and it shows through the second quarter of this year. So it's not actually showing up until this article was posted just a couple days ago. So it's not actually showing the highest credit card balance yet. But the different humps are like the poor times in the economy. So the first one is the 2008 financial crisis. So we were at a high at the 2008 financial crisis. And then right after everything crashed, then people started paying off their credit card debt. And then again in 2020, we were at an all-time high, and then everything crashed and people started paying off their credit card debt because, when the economy goes bad, then people want to try to get rid of the debt. So I don't know what that means about our economy right now, but it's interesting to see the waves of how people build up their credit card debt and then pay it off.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see a very centralized graph of that, like in terms of like the year. I would guess that it's going to peak and then drop right after tax time.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably would.
I would not agree with that.
Yeah, it would probably between like December and April, it probably gets really bad just because of Christmas and everything too. So it's pretty interesting. All right. Oh gosh, I'm clicking too many buttons. So from NerdWallet, we can see that the average credit card revolving debt is $5,944 in the average American household. That's a lot of debt.
Yeah.
Just for credit card debt. And that's, you're looking at 18 to 25% interest, which is insane.
Yep.
So, all right, the next one we have, I actually got this from an email that I got this morning from Morning Brew, talking about the student loan cancellation and the price tag that it has now gotten from the Congressional Budget Office, which is kind of like the nonpartisan group that does a lot of analysis of finances behind legislation and stuff. And they're saying that it's going to cost about $400 billion. So a lot of dough. You can bake a lot of bread with that much dough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that more than you expected or less?
Honestly, that was less than I expected.
Yeah. Same here. I think it all snowballs when you have these kinds of expenses.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with it personally, but yeah, $400 billion sounds like a drop in the bucket compared to other things.
Yeah.
But it's a dangerous mentality.
Yeah. $400 billion back in the day would have sounded like a massive amount of money, and it just doesn't sound like that much anymore because we've been through the last 2 years where we've grown like multiple trillions of dollars in our national debt.
Yeah.
So 400 billion is like a drop in the bucket, like you said.
Yeah.
But it goes on and says that it's going to likely rank in the most expensive of the Biden administration's initiatives. And it's interesting because a lot of Democrats don't think that it goes far enough, and a lot of Republicans obviously think that it's a poor use of government money.
They don't agree?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. It's an interesting debate that you can have about this because it's like, I know that there are legitimately people who need the relief. And unfortunately, a lot of people look at this in a very binary way. It's like either you're all in or all against, My biggest problem with this is it's not fixing the issues that we have with our education system and the fact that we're allowing kids from 18 to 22 to borrow $100,000, $200,000 without any collateral or anything like that. And we're just like, there's student loan forgiveness, but we're not going back and fixing the root of the problem. So our nation can't afford this kind of spending. We're going to pay for it. Our kids are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So where does it end? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but we for sure need to at least fix the education system.
Yeah. Or we'll be doing another 400 billion later on.
Yeah. And it's going to seem like even less.
Yeah. It'll be 800 actually.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is one of yours.
Yeah. So you may have heard we didn't, in our pause from live videos, at least, we didn't discuss the railroad strike that was being discussed in the news for a couple of weeks. So they actually just announced that they have a deal to basically, I guess, subvert that. So that was something that I was fairly concerned about, just with the current logistics issues that we have. You know, there was a trucking shortage before COVID, and it only made it worse.
Yeah.
And without rail, now what? You know?
Yeah.
So, and then it moves, and we've discussed a lot on airlines and that kind of thing. So we know that, you know, probably FedEx and UPS cargo planes probably can't pick up any slack there. So thankfully, hopefully we're going to skirt around that. And so there in the next slide, the day before the rail strike deadline that put the nation's economy and the political fortunes of the Democrats in balance, they've announced a tentative deal. And the next slide says that the deal, which must still be approved, so it has to be approved by the unions, includes a critical demand from workers that they be allowed to take off time for medical appointments and family emergencies. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Which is kind of remarkable to me that they didn't have that, at least. That
I know. That is surprising.
I wouldn't have ever thought that was a problem. So, moving on, it just discusses their basically large wage increases, which I thought were kind of in line with some of the stuff we've talked about.
Yeah.
Didn't we say that the average person who moved jobs last year
is about 15%?
Okay.
I think that was in the last live stream that we talked about. It's about 15%.
So wage increase of 14%, with pay hikes totaling 24 over the next 5 years. And that was their largest wage increase, I believe. Does it say down there 42 years? We can't see. There's a clicker in front, but I think it says 42 years.
Jeez.
So
that is some massive increases. In salaries.
That seemed like maybe it was overdue. I don't know.
No kidding. Yeah. This was one that we just found, honestly, right before we started the live stream, that the EV charge points in Britain are now nearly as expensive as gasoline, which is kind of insane because I know that it's Europe that we're talking about, so it's a little different. But here in the United States, we've got government officials saying, "All right, yeah, gas prices are super high. Just go buy an EV, electric vehicle." For those who aren't aware, just go buy an electric vehicle for $40,000, and it's cheaper for you in the long run. Well, it doesn't appear, at least in Europe, that is the case. So going on, it says that the pay-as-you-go rate has jumped about 42% since May, which is an insane amount of money for just transportation costs. And that the average going from 0 to 80% charge is around $34.87. I mean, that is not far off at all from what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
And just, I've got like a mid-size SUV, so that's pretty massive.
Yeah.
So we were kind of curious. We ended up looking up what like a Tesla Model S costs to charge in the United States. And here at the bottom, it shows level 1 and 2 charging, which is kind of like charging at home. And then level 3 charging is the supercharging. And that's saying that the average is around $26. So that is lower than in Europe, but $26, you're looking at maybe a savings of $10 or $15 right now, between filling up your EV and filling up your gasoline vehicle. So it's going to take a lot of time to hit that breaking point between the cost of an EV and the cost of just a normal vehicle.
Yeah. I think I've said it on here before, like I'm a big fan of the technology, but I think that we may be getting into it a little too fast.
Yes. Yeah. And especially with the requirements, because the requirements, especially the ones that we were seeing here, is that in Europe, I think by 2035 is what we were seeing. By 2035, you can't have any exhaust from any new vehicles, which means no hybrids.
Yeah,
either.
it seemed to me like they have in 2030 no gasoline or diesel sales of new cars, and then in 35 no emissions at all. So it seems like we're going to get rid of the gasoline and diesel, and then it seems like they're going after the hybrid, right? That's the only thing left.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it. Yeah. I think that EVs are really cool.
Yeah.
And the amount of torque that you can get from them, I mean, acceleration is fantastic.
It is.
And
really great.
So is like, if you can get a truck that is an EV, you're going to get way more torque and way more, likely more towing capacity just because it's an EV. You know, it's kind of maybe a six of one, half a dozen of the other when it comes to range, but the actual technology is really cool.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Execution.
From. Yeah, exactly. It's the execution.
Is the hydrogen car zero emissions?
I don't know. So the last thing that we have in this article is that it talks about how the cost advantage of electric vehicles versus a gasoline car is quickly diminishing in Europe. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I'm really wondering to what degree this will begin to impact the sales of EVs. I think it's probably going to be a pretty massive impact, at least in the short run.
Yeah, at least there. And it's like, well, especially if you take into account the upfront price tag.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here's the last one. This is yours.
Yeah, so going with the theme, I wore my festive flannel for this.
Yeah.
Here's why pumpkin spice lattes.
We got pumpkin harvest here.
Pumpkin harvest. Yeah. Important to note, it's harvest, not spice.
Yeah, not spice.
Yeah. Pumpkin spice lattes are so popular. It's very simple economics, say the experts. So Starbucks debuted the pumpkin spice latte in 2003, which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Back. That kind of surprised me. My brothers were born in 2003, so that kind of makes me feel old.
Yeah. We were like 9 years old at the time.
Yeah. Pumpkin spice has grown into a $511 million industry as of 2019.
That is insane.
Yeah, so there's a large market share there for you if you have anything that you could scent or flavor.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. I'm not terribly surprised. I mean, like when I just think about it, I'm not terribly surprised because everything turns into pumpkin spice latte.
Here's one thing that I haven't seen yet. Maybe it's out there. Wouldn't surprise me. You got all these flavored waters. Yeah. Is there pumpkin spiced flavored water?
I bet there is. I'd
be interested to try it, even though it's probably nasty.
Yeah. There's a festival near us, like about an hour south of here. It's called the It's just a pumpkin show. They have all kinds of different foods that are pumpkin related, and it's actually, like I'm a moderate pumpkin fan. I'm not a crazy pumpkin fan, but it is a lot of fun to go there and try some stuff. Because last time we went, we got pizza that had like pumpkin sauce and then the cheese on the top. It sounds disgusting, but it was really really delicious. So yeah, really, really weird stuff.
I have a problem with that. I like pumpkin pie, but I like pumpkin pie with whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
And it usually is like 2 to 3 whipped cream pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Lots of whipped cream.
Yes.
Yeah, whipped cream is delicious.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, so they basically are saying that the reason why pumpkin spice is so popular is because it's only around for a short period, simple supply and demand, and then they go on to say that in just a few short months we'll be talking about the peppermint.
Yeah, peppermint mocha.
Yeah,
Which personally, I'm a bigger fan. Of
I hate peppermint.
Oh, really?
It's disgusting.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
It's like that's what I brush my teeth with.
Yeah.
Is fresh mint.
Yeah, peppermint is amazing. When I had COVID last year, peppermint was literally the only thing that I got even a remote sense of tasting from. Cause I think it's because you kind of get like the feeling in your nose and stuff. So like I ate a lot of peppermint sticks just so that I would feel like I was tasting something, because nothing else, I couldn't taste anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what I just touched on there.
Oh, okay.
Is the simple economics of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So go out and get your PSL before they run out. Not before they run out. They're not going to run out.
No.
Before they turn into peppermint, because Garrett's not a fan of peppermint.
Yeah.
And stay warm. Turn your furnace on, or not, so you can save on these high heating costs, high energy costs. And make sure you like and subscribe, and let us know what you think about these articles.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in the next live stream.